I'm that bookish mom, and today I'm going to be filming my June wrap up. I did the most reading in 1 month. So I read 12 books. I'm on summer break and I was completely taking advantage of all the free time that I had other than taking care of my daughter and trying to clean the house. Although I do admit I did put cleaning off to read. What can I say? That's just what I do. Sorry, that loud noise was the washer and dryer. See, I clean my house. So the first book that I finished in June, this was in my May TBR, so I did start in May, but I finished it in June, so I wanted to include it in my wrap up because I do have some final thoughts about it. The plot was really, really good. I loved the sibling rivalry, and the ending to this story was just, it was really, really good because I felt like the ending was just a little bit rushed. I don't know, it could have just been me, but I felt like I wanted more. I felt like we got a good conclusion. I do like the way it ended. I just think I wanted more details. But I did love this book. Like, Vikings are hardcore. Like, this book was really brutal. There was lots of violence, probably lots of gore. If there were a movie adaptation of this book, I'm not sure that I would be able to handle some of the scenes. I'd probably be covering my eyes, but I would still watch it because this was just such a really good book, and I loved the characters. The characters were just, I loved them. They were good people. I loved it. I loved this book. It was really good. I gave Since You've Been Gone 4 stars. I did really enjoy this book. This was a really fun summer read. Like, if they ever make a summer recommendations video, this would definitely be in it. I just loved Emily and how she changed throughout this book, being in her little shell and then, you know, totally going for it over the summer. And for Sloane, her best friend, to know, you know, how to get her out of her shell without even being around her, I thought was really good. Like, they must really be really best friends if she's able to do that. And I just wish I had a friendship like that, you know? She knows her so well and how to get her out of her comfort zone. And Emily trusted her enough to be able to follow the list that she left her. This was so good, and it was so cute, and I just loved it. Finding Audrey was another book that I read this month, and this may be one of my new favorite contemporaries. It was just so cute, and I loved the characters in this book. I love how far Audrey comes from her anxiety disorder. She just grew so much. Linus, and it's just so encouraging and so sweet and so understanding. You know, she has a neighbor that makes fun of her for wearing her sunglasses and calls her the celebrity. And so for him to tune all the negative out and just be able to discover who she is and what made her that way. And also there's something that happens to her that makes her like this, made her develop this anxiety disorder. It's never disclosed in the book, which kind of bothers me. It's like I really wanted to know because like I said, I need to know everything. I don't know. But he doesn't pry about it. He doesn't believe the rumors that were going around the school. And so I just really liked this character. It may be a little unrealistic, but I didn't care. I loved it. And, you know, there needs to be more Linuses in the world. And I feel like everyone should read this book and be a Linus. Am I crazy to want that? I don't know. And I did give this 4 stars. This is really good. And I also listened to the audiobook, and oh my goodness, I love the audiobook too. So if you read this book, listen to it with the audiobook too. It was really good. I liked it. Another book that I read was Burn for Burn, and oh my goodness, I did give it 5 stars. I just loved it. Like, yes, there's lots of cliches in here, but it just completely reminded me of like all those 90s bad girl movies like The Craft and Heathers, you know, it was just so, like, I'm a 90s baby, and so, like, all those movies were just brought up in this, like, it just reminded me of those movies. And this is only the first book in a trilogy, and I really need to read the next book. I just loved it, and there was a certain there's little glimpses of a plot twist that's coming, and I feel like you're going to get more details in the second book, and it just completely caught me off guard, and I don't want to talk about it and spoil it, but this went in a completely, I feel like it's going to go in a completely different direction than I was thinking, and I'm super excited about it. I do have to mention that there should be a trigger warning for rape for this book. Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman was a book that I struggled to get through. I mean, it was good. I liked it. I think I gave it 3 stars though, just because the very beginning is just all history, and I was really bored, to be honest with you. Like, I need more Neil Gaiman in my life, but I feel like this was not the right first book for me to read by him. This is the first Neil Gaiman book that I read, and I really want to read more of him, but I felt like I should have started with another book. So, like I said, the first few chapters are all history. You don't really need to read them because, to be honest, I didn't finish that. I skipped to the very first story, and then I started falling in love with this book. Especially Loki. Oh my goodness, Loki, you are, I love him in this book. Honestly, Loki made this book. Like, I probably would not have cared for this book if, you know, Loki's character was not as hilarious as he was. So I did give it 3 stars because I didn't absolutely love it. I mean, a few short stories in and I was finding myself getting bored again. But it's okay. You know, I finished it. It was good. I mean, if you're a big Norse mythology fan, you may enjoy this a lot more. I thought I liked Norse mythology. Apparently I don't like it as much as I thought I did. I don't know. I also finished the Grishaverse trilogy this month, which I am so happy about, like so excited. I loved the trilogy. Gave 5 stars. This is really one of my new favorite trilogies, and I cannot wait to start Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Carval was an amazing read, and I loved it. It was just so suspenseful, and I could not stop reading. This world was crazy, wacky, confusing, scary, and just really awesome. And I gave it 4 stars. I'm super excited that I finally read this because, you know, Legendary is out. I feel like that's sometimes why I wait so long to read books, because I know that I'm going to be dying for the sequel, and I don't have to die for the sequel because it's already out. You know what I'm saying? I also ended up listening to the audiobook of The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I don't know if it was the audiobook that kind of ruined it for me, or if it's just I took too long to read this. Maybe I would have enjoyed it more in high school. I did give it 3 stars. It was just, maybe it was the audiobook that kind of ruined it for me. I mean, I'm glad I finally read it. This has been on my shelf for about 3 years now. I'm also super excited that I finished A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, and I'm so glad that I finished it because it was so good. It was so good. It was so incredibly good that I went ahead and bought the leather-bound editions. I've never seen the show because I'm just like, I can't. I haven't read the books. No, I gotta read the books. And so I'm finally going to try and read all of them so that I can watch the show, because all I hear is that it's like the most amazing show ever. So I'm on a mission. This is my mission. I also read Catching Stars by Kayla Keenan. So she's a debut author. This is her debut novel, and I really liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I mean, the plot was just really good. Jayan and Maddox are 2 really strong-willed characters that are kind of forced to help each other This definitely stirred up some emotions. I think I did cry a few times during this book. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm planning on reading the second book. I did like it enough to where I would like to continue this series. Also, I just have to find out what happens because there's a bit of a cliffhanger at the end. Why would you do that to me, Kayla? I don't care. I love you anyways. This is really good. I also finally read 3 Dark Crowns, and I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not what I was expecting, but holy, the plot twists in this book were like mind-blowing. There's some family drama, of course, because these 3 sisters are plotted against each other, but it's just so good. Like the drama, the plot twists. This book's got it going on. There's not a whole lot of action until the very end of the book, but honestly, I enjoyed the drama that it took to get there. Maybe I like the drama. I don't know. It's just that I liked it. It was good. And the last book that I read in the month of June was The Fill-In Boyfriend. And yeah, this was good. This was so good. So this was my first Casey West book and my first Casey West adventure, and I feel like I have been missing out on a lot because this is barely the first time in my life that I am reading Casey West, and I don't know, I really liked it. The main character Gia just grew so much and matured so much. Like the friendships that she like makes in this book, like she has her original friends who are like superficial, let's just say it. They're superficial popular girls who are like into things that are just not very important. And so she meets new friends who value important things, and I just loved that. You know, sometimes you just have to let go of the people that are bringing you down and surround yourself with new people who are going to make you a better person, which I felt like she did. And the very beginning of the story, oh my goodness, she was just so superficial and so like, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this character. But she changes so much, and I ended up absolutely loving her. Jules was a bad person, and I did not like her. There's this one scene with her dad that I totally started crying, okay? Brian was playing his video game, I was sitting here reading, and all of a sudden I look at him, tears just falling down, and I tell him, if Aurora ever comes to you crying about a boy, you just let her cry, okay? Just tell her, let it out. Let it out. Her dad was so sweet and just told her, like, just let it out. It's okay. And I just loved that. Because, you know, sometimes you just have to cry. You know, girls, ladies, y'all know, you just gotta cry sometimes. And it feels so good to cry. I mean, the boy may not be worth it. Whatever happened may be like itty bitty, but it just feels so good to cry. Am I the only one? Am I just a crybaby? I gave this book 5 stars. I mean, yes, there's a bit of, you know, there's a few cliches. And, you know, burn for burn, there were a few cliches in that book too. Maybe I just like cliches. Am I the only person who can appreciate a good cliche? I don't know. Am I crazy? I don't know. So that was my June wrap up. That is the most I've read in a month ever, I think, and I hope to keep it up for July. We'll see. I don't know. I may not get as lucky as I was this month. Thanks for watching. Bye.